What I've got for you today is special, but it's a little sloppily done. I was basically just in the decks, kind of talking to myself, thinking about things, and I ended up recording an episode that is how I go about building a deck. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to come on a journey with me through the deck building process. I'm not going to go into super granular detail about what I do, but at the very end of the video, the tail end of the video, I'm going to have a breakdown of it that's much more thought out and better put together. So hopefully you guys will stick around for that part as well. But this first part is kind of just me. Just you guys are just basically sitting in the room with me while I build a deck. I'm not really thinking about talking too much about certain things. I'm just talking about basic concepts and stuff like that. And hopefully that'll be really helpful for you guys. A lot of people have been asking me to get into more of the granular detail and the math behind the mana and stuff like that, which we'll do. I mean, if there's a outpouring for that kind of video, then that's what we're going to do. I do what you guys want. That's how the channel works. So scream at me and we'll get there. But in the meantime, enjoy this episode, and I'll see you guys later today. So what we're doing is we're going through here. I'm going to look at some cards. I'm just going to throw in cards that interest me in regards to the main deck idea, which is red-green combat tricks. So we're just going to throw in cards that I'm like, you know what? These are cards I want in my red-green combat trick deck. We're not going to look at the number. We're not going to look at anything else. We're just going to put them in. We're going to see what happens. So basically, kind of where I'm at with this is I got some raid bombardments, which I think is going to be pretty good. We actually probably only have 3 of those in there, but that's later on. And the reason why we've got those is because I think that it'd be funny to utilize like Krinko's command, attack in, trigger raid bombardment for 2 damage, and then after that to use pump spells to kill our opponent. I think that's hilarious, actually. That makes me pretty happy. I don't think we want Wandering Wolf in here. Is this coffee empty already? God damn it. Alright. Early on a Monday. It is Monday. No, it's Tuesday right now. I owe you for Monday. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. Lightning Talons, I mean, you want in there. Mountains you control. Trumpet Blast is a really good card. Put that in there. Don't want any of these. We're not really trying to do anything like that. I don't really want to go into 4 mana, to be honest with you, because I don't need to. In an aggro pile, if you're using green and red, you don't need to hit 4. You should top out at 3. There's not much that you need to go into at 4. I mean, Battle Driver is very nice for sure, but I don't think he's somebody that we need just yet. Oh, Paragon of Fierce Defiance, Tectonic Rift, Mulhorn, Veil Sentinel. A lot of these, stop me if you like one. A lot of these I don't care too much about. Pitchborn Devils, no. Inferno Titan's great, but we don't need to go there right now. Warstorm Surge, that's not what we're trying to do. So now we get into here. We're multiple colors. Supremo Bellows is not very good. We got a lot of 1/1s that aren't very important for us. Prey Palm we don't really need. Genesis Hydra. A lot of these cards just aren't going to do it. Green we're probably just going to be... We don't have token gens, so that's not useful. But green we're probably just going to be using for Bump. Bump, Pump, Rumpelstein, and we want instant speed of that, obviously, so... Go through here. I mean, I've got 21 creatures right now, 31 spells. So that's not going to work, obviously. Keep going through here. I do like Vengevine, and now we're already getting too thick in the waist. That might be it. Because I don't really want to deal with the enlarges and stuff, even though that's a good card for sure. So, first things first, I think we can probably cut down the mana. Cut down the green. Let's take that like that, because why don't I have any of these in here? Put that in here. Then round it out. I think we can probably Probably go with 21 here and be okay. Oh shit, I want to continue building. Go back into spells, let's thin the herd. Hoplight's really good, but I'm not sure if we want it in here, to be honest with you. Fur we might not want. Rabble Master we'll keep for sure. I want my Gather Courage, I want my Titanic Growth. That's why we have this in here. I want my Young Wolves. I don't think I want my Wandering Wolf in here. Go ahead and take him out. We could always add him back in later. We only need 9 cuts now. I like the Rock Slide Elemental because he has First Strike along with a lot of these instant. We have 8 instant speed combat tricks that make him very dangerous. And I enjoy that. So we can just take out the Hoplites and the Fur of the Bittens and I think be in pretty good shape. Fur of the Bitten, of course, is a staple in aggro decks. Trumpet Blast you keep all day, because I think a lot of the fun stuff that you do here is you activate Raid Bombardment, and then you Trumpet Blast later on, and that's how we're going to get through late game. So this is a aggro pile that is supposed to get through mid game in just the first stage of late game. That's why we're splashing green, because I think that if we run out of steam early on, if they have some bullshit that gets in our way, I think this deck really has a lot of juice. I think the Young Wolf is good, but given our lands, maybe not the best decision because we probably won't be able to cast him often on turn. We'll have to do some test hands to prove that. 21 lands. I still feel comfortable with the Rock Slide Elemental and everything like that. It's just like, what do we start getting rid of? I think anything that's a sorcery speed trick just gets taken out, even though Fur of the Bitten is a powerhouse. I think we just cut those, and then we just need to cut one of these spells down. Because I'm a little concerned about this now, that 17 spells, 23... or 17 creatures, 23 spells. I'm a little concerned about that. So we want to cut out something. And I want to cut it out of the 3 mana. So it's going to be this chunk right here that we're looking at. And of these guys, I think I want one less Trumpet Blast. You know what? Even though it's kind of the crux of the idea is the Raid Bombardment. So I do want to see how that works. So I will axe 1 Trumpet Blast. Just 1. We'll probably change that. We'll probably change that ratio, put in a Trumpet Blast, and take out a Raid Bombardment. And that's kind of how I build decks. Normally I would take this out for a couple test runs against the game just to see how it... You know what? And we'll go ahead and do that because that's this. I'll just take you through the process. That way this is a special episode. And not just a, I was late and didn't come up with a 60 episode. So we'll start duel here. And we'll see what we can do. I am eager to see what kind of hands we get from this deck. We'll find out right now. I just want to kind of see the mana. So what we're looking for here is just what the mana is. So we're going to take our mulligan every single time. So this isn't great. Draw a new hand and see what we get. This is a lot better, so that's good. And then we'll just do keep. And we have to escape here. And just, can I just restart the duel? Yes, I can. And this is just what we do for a little bit. I usually do this 3 or 4 times. Just get about 6 test hands just to see how it shuffles up. Because I do this in real life too. I mean, this is, I would keep this. It's not great, but I would keep it. This is right where I want it to be, actually. This is right around where we want it to be. So we'll just do one more of these and see if it's working out. I like it. I like the 3 mana and the starter. I mean, we don't have a way to dig. Again, I mean, I would be a lot happier if I had Wild Guess just in this format. And again, I mean, because you don't have the green, so you're a little scared to keep it, but you do have stuff like Coordinated Assault and Rock Slide Elemental. And you're pretty much on turn because we're going first here. So this is a good hand. And this is a much less good hand. Like, this is rough. We can't utilize that Convoke because Convoke is only green creatures. They can only supply the mana that they have. So I don't like this one. But that's only one bad hand out of what we've had. And it's not like we're dead in the water. I mean, we've got a hoplite out here. I'm going to just see what our top card is. We're just going to bunny hop and just check what our top card is quickly. Just kind of see where we're at. I mean, I don't want a mana, to be honest. See, that is a bad thing. I don't like, so that was not a good go. But I don't want to take, so you're thinking, you know, you might want to take one red out, put in one more green. Because we didn't actually look at that at all. But then here you go, you got a really good hand right there. And then you've got another really good hand. So I think the math is probably okay. This is, I mean, I know that we don't have anything to do until turn 3. And our opponent goes first. So let's just see what happens if we have to mull down to 5. And let's just see if we can beat our opponent here. So we're up against Jace. So this is another trick that I learned while I was playing Paper Magic. It's to just mull down to a really bad state. I should have played this red mana and played this Satyr Hoplite, so he was woke up. I mean, that was fucking terrible. But one of the things that we used to do is we would mull down to a really bad state where you had like no mana or very poor mana or something like that. And then you would utilize that as kind of a frame of reference for if you were ever in the field playing an actual game and had to face similar circumstances. Because a lot of people, when they're playtesting, will, you know, just reshuffle if they don't like what they have or try and get in these ideal situations. And if you're just playing ideal situations, you're not really preparing yourself for real, actual combat. So I'm going to get blocked here, which would suck. Like, really bad. But next turn, if I draw a mana, I'm actually okay. And my opponent's tapped down, so I don't want to waste it, because he is Jace, so I guess probably counters. I'm not really sure what the computer's Jace's deck is. But wasting that on a Titanic Growth just to kill this 2-3 seems foolish to me. When we can play this 2-2, can't be countered. Don't care about this damage one bit. What is this? Oh, Gomazoa. I kind of hate this thing. There's a good chance that we'll be able to kill it, though. I'll play this Goblin Arsonist. Because we weren't playing Raid Bombardment, and we wouldn't be able to play our Young Wolf, and then we're gonna attack with everybody. And this guy only goes up 1, right? Because he only gets +1 for goblins. Yeah, I didn't read it. Yes, he does. We might have to stop here. Stop. So this worked out okay because we're gonna growth this guy. He's gonna get 1 permanent counter on us or on him. But that's 6 damage right there. So that's, I mean, that's still really good. We went ahead and killed that Gomazoa, took our opponent to 16. I think we're in pretty good shape, because I get to play this Raid Bombardment eventually. If I draw any kind of mana off the top, then I get to play this Young Wolf as well, which would be pretty great, because we'd be utilizing kind of the strategy that we're going with, which is activate Raid Bombardment and then instant speed pump our guys, which is just not going great right now, considering. We also could have put, what's his face? That green guy, that 3-drop that pumps side if he feels like it. We could have also done that, but we didn't, and we might have wanted to. If our opponent taps down, we'll be in really good shape here. Skip blocking. He could pop this back up to her hand, which would suck, but he'd have to diversify to get rid of one of our guys, so sure. This is an interesting predicament. I'm going to cast this Raid Bombardment. It's going to get canceled. Or not. Interesting. That's... wow, okay. We were trying to do that so that we might draw out the cancel so that we could Rabble Master, but now our opponent's just going to lose a shit ton of life and then take quite a bit of damage, and then we'll play this Forest and play our Young Wolf and say go. Young Wolf gets to block as well, which will be a fun activity for him, because then he'll be a 2/2. That's why I like that Wolf. I think it's a pretty good card, all in all. 2/3, and this guy's going to block all day. No sense not, because that's adding to our damage next turn. He hits the Yari, he pops right back up. Hello, buddy. Hello, little buddy. Who's a good boy? 3/4. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 4 triggers of this. This guy'd have haste, right? I'm gonna play this Rabble Master. Cancel. No? Okay. We're gonna continue to combat step. It's about to get real ugly in here. I mean, he's taking 55 damage just from me saying the word attack. Look at this. Raid Bombardment, son. Oh, that's good. 3 mana. Hell shit, you guys. See, if I had the Titanic Growth still, I would have been. But I really wanted to kill that Gomazoa because I just don't like the card, to be honest with you. Oh, stretch it out. Whatever, man. You're dead. Cool. All right. That worked out well. I'm going to turn this Xbox controller on. We're going to play some Magic the Gathering against real opponents, and I'll see you guys in game. We'll see how this thing fares in the real world against real people. Alright, great. Let's see what we can do here, running this aggro pile. Geared more towards the mid-game, late-game type of shenanigans. We've got a Raid Bombardment, Trumpeter Blast, and 2 Hoplites that don't really do anything, but I go first. I'm going to keep this. Just because I get to do this play. Scoop! No, okay. That'd be kind of crazy. I love my mana base in this hand. I like the cards that I have. I don't want to see blue. Shucks. That's a real bitch. Okay, I mean, as long as Raid Bombardment hits, I can still bash my head up against this opponent and be okay. Especially since there's a possibility of me having way more guys out. So I'll actually play this and then go with the Krinkos command. Because there's a chance that I can have 3 triggers from Raid Bombardment and then hopefully a Trumpet Blast, just kind of do this the way that we rehearsed. So we want a mana down, we want him to play another Kraken Hatchling or something. We don't want him to be able to cancel this. Fuck. I'm going to go for it. Rad. Okay. Okay. We had to. I mean, we had to. There's only, what, 3 counters he could have? 4 counters he could have at 2 mana that could get the Raid Bombardment? Because, no, I mean, at that mana that he has, that's a lot of damage. We're already putting on the pressure. We got the Trumpet Blast. Hey, there's a chance we could win this thing. Terran creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn. We just gotta watch our P's and Q's. See, now he's got counters open, but he doesn't have the board wipe that we were worried about earlier. I could stop drawing lands here. That'd be fine. Attack. I don't want to play my Trumpet Blast anymore. The Raid Bombardment's going to be doing its job just fine. Trumpet Blast is going to come in as a final salvo and just finish this guy off. He's got the block. He takes 2 damage. So if I play this, I'll play this Guildgate here and this Hoplite, and then I can Trumpet Blast if he taps down and just win next turn. Because that's 4 damage that he's going to be taking from the Bombardment. Of course, he could play another red mana and burn the field, which I almost didn't play that Hoplite, but who knows. Okay, so we made 2 really dicey calls that were probably wrong, strictly speaking. I don't like the fact that I'm seeing all this goddamn mana. Voyages end, so I will just Trumpet Blast, and I believe I win now because he did that. Because that is... He takes 3 from this, goes to 7. No, I think he's at 1. I believe he's at 1. Yes, he will be at 1. But I will also use it because he's tapped down. He's at 1. I'm going to keep this Hoplite in hand. And he left. So there you go. That'll work for me. Seems like a strong deck. Might do an actual 60 of it later on, act of treason. Okay. Alrighty. Attack me for 1, take me 19. Spite, out of spite, computer? Out of spite, you asshole. God damn it, computer. Jeez, what a dickhead. Okay, we'll just go move into attack step, because as long as you let me say the word attack, you die. Baby. See ya later. Seems good, you guys. Seems okay. I'm gonna do an intro for this video, so you've already seen that, but because it's kind of weird. I was just fooling around, and it ended up being maybe a good look into my deck building process and a good look into how the ideas kind of come. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Basically, just to recap, the first thing I do when I make a deck is I have a basic idea in my head. The basic idea for this one was red with pump spells. That was the basic idea. That was the inception for this deck. Then I went in, I put in every single card in the format that was red and green that I would want to see in that deck idea, and then I whittled it down to a 60. I played a couple of matches just against the computer, and the only reason we went in there was to see how it draws mana, how it draws. And then we mulled down to about 5. You can mull down to 4, but in real life, you never really do that. So always mull down to 5 no matter how good your starting hands are, and just see how you can do against the computer there. Do that once or twice. Twice probably is better than once. Tweak whatever you need to tweak, mana or anything like that, and then jump into multiplayer and start beating some asses. That's just a quick little how to build a deck tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like I said before,